The seams are coming apart again. This little scrunch thing, I think it's genius. Literally like impossible to get on my body. Like definitely flattering on the glutes. I don't think are very cute. I actually really love the waistband. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. We have Peach here today, who is lucky to still be here because yesterday she ate half of a chocolate protein bar. And no, cats are not supposed to like protein bars. I can't explain why she's like this, but we love her anyway. And today we were doing such a highly requested review. Clearly I'm reviewing the Whitney X Gymshark V2. I reviewed this collection last year and had quite a horrible experience with their launch. Made me not want to buy from Gymshark for a while. And then we go to this year and the launch experience is just as bad for me. So we'll do a little chat about that. If you don't care for any tea time with Kath where we like to chat at the beginning of videos, feel free to skip to the review. I'll put it on the screen. I will also have timestamps for you so you can skip around. But yes, I actually happened to make tea before filming this and I figured it was perfect anyway. There were so many things I wanted to get. I was prepared to spend like $500 on this launch and I just didn't get so much of the stuff. But I feel like the most important things are the 2 pairs of leggings, which I did get both of them. I got the sports bra and I got some tops. So we have a little variety. We're gonna make it work. We're still gonna review. So I feel like there were a lot of complaints about this launch, this collection in general. Guys, I have gotten so many DMs. I feel like so many people send me like their experience from certain launches so I can like compile them and like share to the rest of you. Before I even got these leggings, I heard so many things about them. So I heard some people were bummed that like this was kind of just like a revamped version of the first Whitney collection. It wasn't really anything like super new or anything, but I was honestly kind of excited about that. Like to me, it sounded great that she was making the same leggings as last time basically, but like some slight improvements to make them like a little better because I actually really liked the styles and the colors and the overall vibe of the first Whitney collection. I'm wearing the first sports bra today, which they have made some changes, including removing this little hole, which I don't know if I'm the only one, but my main area of sweat at the gym is under boob sweat, and every single time I wear the sports bra, the sweat just, you know, escapes right through this hole. Just falls right out. And I'm like, it's a little embarrassing. But I was kind of excited to see some updates, and as soon as I watched Whitney's video on this and I saw the revolutionary like booty scrunch that isn't actually a booty scrunch that just gives you some like glute separation, I was like, what? Honestly, that really sold me because I've never seen that in a pair of leggings. So honestly, that's what sold me. Same with the colors. But unfortunately, because the launch was a little bit of a disaster, I did not get any of the colors I wanted. I know Gymshark said that they increased the amount of like orders for this launch. I'm sure that they actually did increase the stock, but the first Gymshark Whitney collection sold out in like 3 minutes. So even if you triple the stock, what's it gonna last, like 9 minutes? So anyways, I didn't get the pieces I really wanted and I didn't get the colors I really wanted. And I know a ton of people are in the same boat. I've heard so many people whose packages have gotten lost, who they placed an order, they paid on the day of the launch, and then a couple days later, Gymshark told them that they actually oversold that item, so they weren't even gonna get it. Or you just weren't quick enough and somehow when you were in line, things sold out in your cart and you didn't end up getting it. But we need to talk about something. It is very important that you do not go on Poshmark or Mercari and spend 2 to 3x the price on these items. I promise you they are not worth it, and that's not like me saying that this stuff isn't like good. That's just me saying you should not buy anything for 2 to 3x the price because Gymshark is already selling it for what it's worth. If these leggings were worth $80, Gymshark would sell them for $80. I know some brands really are overpriced, but do not enable these people. They are evil. It is so wrong to take advantage of people like that. And people might think like it's their hustle, but there's so many other better ways to make money than to upsell people. It's just a scummy move. I don't like when people do that. I'll never support it. And again, on that note, if you didn't get the leggings you wanted at first, you're probably sad for like a day or so, and then you forget about it. Seriously, if you didn't get these leggings, if you didn't get anything from the Whitney collection, just move on. Your life will be better not worrying about them. Stop searching on Poshmark. There's so many leggings out there. Okay, I think that's all the rambling I want to do today. I just want to say I did buy all of this with all my own money. I'm not affiliated with Gymshark. If you're new to this channel, I do a lot of honest reviews, a lot of unsponsored reviews. So if you're interested in that, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. And without further ado, let's start talking about the leggings. So if you know me, I hate reviewing black leggings because it is just so much harder to see on camera. You can't see all the little details. But unfortunately, these were the only ones I could really get my hands on in a size small. I did actually order the pink haze color, which is still coming 2 weeks after the launch because I checked the tracking and it's coming from Australia when I literally ordered it like on the US site. I've never heard heard of them shipping stuff from Australia. I really don't understand, but these are the high-rise leggings. These ones definitely sold out a lot faster than the rib waist leggings, which I don't think are very cute. I do really like the design of the high-rise leggings though. You have a seamless waistband. It technically does have a little stitch at the top, but it's nothing that's actually going to cut into you. There's no elastic at the top. They have these two little flat lock seams that go to a kind of V shape in the back, enhance the glutes a little bit. We have a new logo this time. I will compare these to the Gymshark Whitney V1s. I don't like this new logo. I think it's just very bold. I personally don't like logos to begin with, and I really don't like the idea of like walking around with like someone's name on my leggings. Like I know that this is her line and everything, but I just think like it's just a little weird. And I also just don't expect this logo to really stay on for a long period of time. It just doesn't feel like it's really gonna stay on, so I feel like I could have done without that. Little eyelet detailing in the back, and then we have that amazing like booty scrunch detailing. It looks like a booty scrunch. When you put it on, it disappears and just like hugs the glutes in the best way. And I'm just here for that. The material is pretty thin, kind of a naked feel, but it does have more structure and also a little more compression than the last version of the Whitneys. And I will say one improvement I would have loved to see. They always just make one length of leggings, and it's just like a little annoying. Like, why can't you offer 2 lengths of leggings? Like, so many other brands do that now that I feel like Gymshark is always behind on that, and they always are releasing leggings. They're just too short on me. And I know I'm on the tall side, so they're probably great for a lot of people, and I just feel like a little second length would have been nice. Slightly off topic, but still kind of on the topic of Gymshark only making 1 length of leggings. For some reason, I thought Gymshark was a more like size inclusive brand, and they're really not. All of this stuff only came in extra small to extra large, which I don't really understand how no one ever talks about this, because brands like Balance and Buff Bunny all go up to like 3XL and are very size inclusive. And Gymshark is way bigger of a brand and is literally a $1 billion company and doesn't spend the extra money to make like an extra small to like at least a 2 or 3XL. Yet they literally launch a new collection like every single week. It's clearly not a priority for them to be size inclusive, and I just feel like that's something that they should really work to improve on, because a lot of girls can't wear Gymshark because they only go up to an extra large, and then some of their leggings also like run small. So rant aside, we're gonna compare these to the old Whitneys and then we will try them on. Is this really where you need to be right now? Peach, get off of this, come on. So these are my Whitney V1s a year later, so we'll see how they've held up. To be honest, I've only worn them like under 10 times and washed them under 10 times. If we're being honest, probably more like 5. But I always do get compliments when I wear this. So this was the old logo. It was a gold bar. Mine is like a little bit tarnished on the side, but I don't think it's a huge deal. Some of the stitching has done this weird thing where it's kind of come apart a little bit. You can see how the seams are kind of separating here. I feel like overall my fabric has held up pretty well. I have seen quite a few pictures of people's who have pilled pretty bad. For the most part, mine are okay. Okay, I'm so sorry that we're using black to compare, but my pink ones have not come in the mail yet. So differences so far, they both do have like a slightly tapered waistband, but they also have the new flat lock seams, which mine seem to be okay, but I've seen quite a few people with some poorly done flat lock seams. So honestly, I felt like the last ones looked a little better just because you didn't have like all the issues. Instead of the little bar, we have the Whitney Simmons logo, which I just am not confident this is gonna stay on with multiple washes. I am in support of the flat lock seams on the leg though, because the seams on the old ones kind of like separated. I think that these will last a lot longer. And the V2s actually look longer than the V1s, which is interesting. Kind of thought they were the same length. Slightly different design this time on the little perforation cutouts. I do prefer this one. I think it kind of goes with the V seams. V seams are very similar, and I love the addition of this little scrunch thing. I think it's genius. We'll talk about it more because I just love that. But yeah, everything else is pretty similar. Quick little post-workout update of the high-waisted leggings. I liked these a lot more than the rib waist. I did pull them up a few times during the workout. I don't think it was horrible, but it tends to sit a little bit lower in the back. The front stayed up pretty well. The back kind of wanted to go low a little bit. Definitely flattering on the glutes. They do show underwear lines like super easily, and these are like a seamless underwear and they're still showing. Definitely showed sweat. At one point I was like, I don't usually have a lot of sweat showing, and they definitely showed it in the crotch area. So I also used a band on my legs during my hip thrusts, and it did not pill or get fuzzy or anything surprisingly. So actually held up pretty well. I actually would say that these draw less attention to this area than a lot of no front seam leggings. So yeah, there are definitely a couple things, but I feel like overall I got a pretty good workout in them. So. All right, so here are the high-rise leggings. Again, I'm sorry that I'm reviewing these in black, but that is all I could get my hands on. So definitely on the darker colors, the logo really stands out and it's just not really my favorite. Since this is black and I have white cats, I can say that it definitely does collect fur and lint, and it's not really super easy to brush off, which honestly really isn't a surprise to me since these are a brushed soft legging, not a sleek legging. I do think the material is definitely an upgrade from the last one. It feels a little thicker, a little nicer, potentially a little more compressive. I wouldn't give these much more than a medium compression though, and they are actually pretty thin as well. These are black, so you won't be able to see much, but I wouldn't consider these very cellulite friendly just because they are super thin and naked feel. I know these ran a little small on a lot of people, and on me they actually fit really well, but I also have a small waist, so the fact that this is like a little more compressive and snug in the waist works in my favor. But if you are someone who actually carries their weight in their waist, it might be a little too compressive on you. A lot of people message me saying that it just cut them in so much in the waist and was really uncomfortable. So if you're someone who doesn't carry a lot of weight in your waist, these will probably be good. But if you do carry weight in your waist, it might actually be too compressive, and I would definitely size up in that case. I don't even know if that fixes it. It's hard for me to tell because I'm not having that issue. These also have no front seam. I forgot to mention that. I personally love that about these leggings, and I am not getting any camel, and I'm also not getting any gathering. I've gotten so many DMs from people who have never gotten camel toe ever in leggings, and they got camel toe in these leggings, and I think it's because of the scrunch. Since you have a little extra force like pulling these leggings up into this area, you can kind of carry on to the front and create a little camel toe even with the no front seam. So it's not an issue for me, but that has been an issue for some people. I actually really love the waistband. Most waistbands are just kind of like thin and they don't really add a lot more compression, but this one is like a double thickness, and I think it has like some power mesh or something she mentioned. I don't know what power mesh is, but I find it really snug as my waist, but it's also not going to give you a lot of lower tummy control. The compression really is in the middle of your waist. Definitely a 7/8 on me. I wouldn't say these are too short. They definitely feel longer than the last Whitney leggings. And here's the back. Sorry, I'm keeping the tags on because I want to keep the pink ones, but I don't really want to keep the black ones. And I absolutely love the seam detailing on these and the scrunch. Like, I really did not have to work to get this to sit where it is on my glutes, yet it is still like very flattering. Like, definitely a high on the booty scale. I would love to see this little like pseudo scrunch detailing in more leggings. I would say these are pretty true to size with the exception of the waistband issue, because I just don't think it's the most forgiving waistband for larger waists. So I'm gonna do the sit test now and we'll see if it rolls down or anything. I don't usually have an issue with legging waistbands rolling down. Getting like a little bit of rolling, but because it actually doesn't have a top seam, it's just kind of like an overall compressive effect of the waistband. It's actually not really cutting into me too much, so I'd actually say it's pretty decent for the sit test. As for pilling, I would expect this material to pill a little bit over time. I also have gotten some messages of people saying theirs have already pilled. I take pretty good care of my leggings and usually they don't pill like right away, like usually a couple wears. But yeah, I would say I actually do really like these leggings. I really like the style. I think it's really flattering on me personally, but I've just gotten so many messages that it's not really super flattering across all body types. So I also do think the quality has improved from the last time, but I still do think that there is a ways to go with the quality. I still like the leggings, still wouldn't pay over $100 for them on Poshmark. But yeah, for me, these are definitely the winner of the collection. Next, we have the Whitney rib waist leggings. To be honest, I just do not see the appeal to these. I don't see why these are a thing. I think they just should have made twice as much of the high waist leggings because these were really not it for me. I do have a little gym test coming up where I wore these to the gym. And just to be honest, I feel like every person I saw wearing these, they just were not super flattering. I think they were supposed to have a little more compression. They actually felt less compressive in the waist to me. And I've heard so many people say that these were nearly impossible for them to get on, like they wouldn't even go past their thighs. I was able to get these on. It was definitely tight around my butt area, and then when I got it up to my waist, it like somehow wasn't even compressive enough on my waist. If these for some reason appeal to you, they're actually still in stock on the website, which I'm just saying, like, I am not surprised they're still in stock on the website because the high-waisted leggings are much cuter. These are the same base material as the high-waisted leggings. They're a soft brushed fabric on the thin side. These ones have a little ruching at the ankles, which on me, it kind of stretched out and like didn't really look like much when I actually had it on, so I could have done without that. It still does have a slightly glute contoured seam in the back, slightly V-shaped. I would say it's not quite as enhanced as the high-waisted leggings. It also has a little elastic booty scrunch detail, which I will show you what that looks like on the inside. Basically, it just looks like a regular seam, except it has a little more elastic in it to kind of scrunch it up a little more and sit between your glutes. I forgot to mention that none of this stuff has front seams, which I like. It has the same Whitney logo, and then here's the part where I just don't understand. This waistband just doesn't make sense with the leggings. I don't understand. It's not even like a seamless legging material waistband. To me, it's literally like a sweatpant material waistband. It's not very soft, it doesn't have a lot of elasticity, and it just doesn't really go with the soft, supple legging material. I get the concept that this is meant to be a thicker region of compression than the high-waisted leggings, but it just didn't really turn out for me. You don't really have a band at the top, but it kind of sits funny. I feel like everyone I've seen wearing these leggings, the top part of the waistband just doesn't sit on them well. It doesn't have a lot of stretch to it, it's a little baggy, and it's just really not my fave, so let's try these on. I also got these in a size medium to see the sizing, because I heard from a lot of people that they couldn't even get on their normal size in the rib waist leggings. This is the old Beautiful Blue, and this is Intense Beautiful Blue. They look exactly the same to me, so I don't really think that this blue is like any different or any more intense. I feel like I've heard a lot of complaints about the sizing of the rib waist leggings, and I don't think it's a sizing. I think it's just strictly a waistband issue, because if you line up the small high waist leggings, they're the exact same like waistband measurements as the rib waist leggings, so they're actually the same. About to go test these on a workout. I'm breaking out and not looking my best, so we'll just ignore that. First impressions, literally like impossible to get on my body. Like literally this like waistband part, I did not want to go past my hips. And now that it is past my hips, it's like loose and it doesn't feel like it's like, you know, holding me up at all. The leggings showed like a little bit of sweat, but not too bad. This waistband is just not it. It's not doing anything for me. I feel like if anything, it's like making it less flattering. I don't know, it wants to sit pretty low. It's not sucking me in. It's just like weird. I don't understand the waistband, but everything else held up pretty well. And I felt like the fabric wasn't like super delicate, so. All right, so here are the rib waist leggings, and this is about as high as they go on me. So they truly are more of like a mid-rise, which I am not really a fan of mid-rise leggings. I like leggings to go above my belly button preferably. And if I pull these up above my belly button, they eventually just fall down. I know this from a workout test. Like the last one's not super cellulite friendly. Again, no front seam. Personally, I'm not having any camel issues. I know a lot of people do. And this is my second time wearing them, and I already feel like I'm not getting as much glute separation because the elastic has kind of stretched out. I'm a bit bummed by this like pseudo scrunch thing because I just feel like it's eventually just gonna stretch out and there's gonna be nothing if I'm already starting to see it stretch out. This waistband is just not super smooth. Like it has like these little like bubbly things. I don't feel like it sits super well on me. It's really hard to get over my hips. Like I'm surprised I can even wear this size small, to be honest. But now that it's up here, I don't think it gives me any more compression than the high-rise leggings. I feel like from afar it may look okay. The top kind of like lips out a little bit and doesn't sit quite flat. I would say these ones only get like medium to high on the booty scale because maybe it's just because this is stretching out, but. And yeah, this is the ruched ankle detailing. As you can see, as soon as you put it on, it just stretches out. So I don't really think that was like very necessary. Let's do a little sit test in this waistband. And I do feel like it is cutting into me a little more because this waistband really doesn't have all that much elasticity to it. If you can see when I stretch this waistband, I kind of like stretch it out and I don't feel like it like snaps back as much as like a nice stretchy fabric would like really snatch back and not be like stretched out. So here are the medium rib waist leggings. Honestly, they were just as hard to get over my hips. Now that they're on, they're just slightly loose in the waistband. They just look like a little like, I don't know, frumpy is the word I would use. Obviously these aren't like the best fitting on me. So I do think you can size up in these. Just beware the waistband might be a little loose and it might still literally be hard to get on. So I just do not recommend the rib waist leggings. So these ribbed waist leggings are these smalls that I've already worn for a workout. I have not worn these ones, and I think that the scrunch is already starting to stretch out a little bit. I just feel like this one looks more scrunched than this one does now that it's out, and I have heard from a couple other people that they felt like the scrunch just kind of like gave out after one wear wash, and the seams are coming apart again like they did with the last ones. This is how it's supposed to be. You should not be able to see the stitches. And on the one I've worn, they're already coming apart. And then we got the sports bra. I was surprised to be able to get this in the unbleached color because I thought this was kind of be like a sought after color. I love white sports bras, and I haven't seen a lot of like cream colored sports bras. They did make some changes to the sports bras. I'm wearing the old one right now, and it has that little cutout. This one no longer has the cutout, so I'm really glad they changed that. They do still have the ring in the back. I'll do a little comparison side by side of the old one and the new one, and you'll see the differences. It has the very subtle "It's a Beautiful Day to Be Alive" detailing here. It also has a little very subtle Gymshark logo back here, removable cups, and it has the Whitney Simmons logo on the side. And I will say, I know I talked about this logo maybe like not lasting super long, but when you stretch it, that does look pretty sturdy to me. So I'm gonna wash these before I do this video, and if it peels off, I will update you guys, and we'll see if it lasts. So back from my workout, yeah, this bra definitely runs small. I am like spilling out of it, and I tried to stuff myself back in a few times. It was definitely like uncomfortable around this area. The white color is not really showing sweat, and I'm definitely sweating, so that's good. All right, so here's the sports bra. And I would definitely say the sports bra runs quite small. I feel like I heard all of the athletes, like when they were getting this, talking about how like, oh, it like makes my boobs look so good because it like pushes them up so much. It's because it's too small. I'm literally being like forced out of this bra, and like when I wore this to the gym by the end of my workout, like this is a decent coverage sports bra. Like I should be able to stay in it, but because it ran so small, I was spilling out pretty big time at the end. It also comes really close to your armpits, which can be a little irritating over time. So I don't know if that's something with the sizing or what, but I just think it comes a little too close. Special guest number 2, how you doing, Pit? I feel like I like the overall shape of the bra. I love how thick the straps are. It makes them very comfortable. Nice elastic band at the bottom. On the white, you can see the cup pads like a lot. Also, these cup pads are a little like crinkly and just kind of thin, so I don't think they were like the best cup pads. And then here's the back, and you know what, last time I saw a lot of people saying that you could reverse the sports bra. Maybe we'll try that. But I love the back of this bra. I love the little ring. I've never had an issue with the ring being uncomfortable in any of my workouts. I have done like chest and bench press and everything, and it's been fine for me. It does sit pretty flat on your back. I know that was something I was concerned about for the first Whitney launch. I was like, oh, this ring is gonna be in the way. It actually wasn't. So yeah, if you can eventually ever get your hands on these bras, I would size up in it. It actually is pretty supportive. I'd actually give that a medium to high support. Part of it's probably because I'm being compressed so much. I think it's a nice bra. A little surprised that the sizing is so off. I don't know why Gymshark still was off with their sizing. Like every time I try Gymshark, I always have some kind of issue with their sizing. I'm like, something that is super nitpicky, but that I've just noticed every time I've seen this bra though, is it has this seam down the front of the bra, and so many sports bras don't have that seam. Like I don't know why this extra seam is necessary. I felt like it would have been a little nicer if it was just like seamless across the front. Please tell me I'm not the only one who noticed this and kind of thought it was strange, just because you don't need the seam there, so I just don't really understand. And I'd say it's pretty good cleavage coverage. Obviously I'm getting a little spillage because of the sizing, but I think if this was in a size up, it would actually be pretty good coverage on me. Okay, actually, this is it reversed. I would say it's a little too boobalicious for me. It's just like kind of a lot of squishing and cleavage. But if you have a smaller chest, or if you like that, I think you could probably reverse it. You obviously can't put the cup pads in here. You'd obviously want to take the cup pads out of this side, which I did not do, so probably looking a little strange, but I think it's possible. The only thing is that the straps like come in a little too much. Like I feel like it should be out a little more, but it wasn't designed to be worn like this. But I feel like if you really wanted to, you could definitely wear it like this. Here's the old versus the new. As you can see on the new one, the fabric covers almost all of the ring, and apparently the ring is a different like manufacturer and different material, so hopefully that holds up. I have worn this once, Haven't had any issues with it so far. I think it definitely looks improved from the last time. I do like how it has more coverage of the ring. This one looks a little like, I don't know, a little more slouchy, a little frumpy. This one definitely looks more structured. The fabric also feels a little more structured. And the front looks very similar, except the new one doesn't have a cutout and the old one does have a cutout. This is the only addition I'm not super excited about. I just don't think that this like was really necessary. And a big complaint of people that I've heard is that this ring, as you can see, mine is like pretty tarnished for only wearing it a couple times. It really doesn't hold up to sweat very well. And I saw a couple people's from last year that also the ring coloring kind of like leaked onto the sports bra like fabric. So I kind of was bummed to hear that they didn't get rid of the ring, because I know a lot of people had issues with it, but they did change the ring. I also got the long sleeve, which I thought was really pretty and a really nice little like gym staple. But what I really liked was the cutout style back that they designed to look really good with the like sports bra underneath. So of course the shirt comes in the mail like 30 minutes after I'm done filming. Anyways, the long sleeve does have the little Whitney logo on the back. It actually does have the little marled situation that the short sleeve shirt has. Then it has this cutout, which is supposed to look good with the sports bra. It is made of the legging material, so it's nice and soft and stretchy. And then the sleeves also have like a little ruched detailing at the bottom of them. More of the marled material at the end of the sleeve, and then it's a beautiful day to be alive. So let's try it on. All right, so here's the top. This isn't a size small. I'd say it's pretty compressive, so if you need a little more space, probably size up, but I think that this size is fine for me. Again, I'm not sure what's with like all the seams like down the front. I'm not really sure like why all of her stuff has that, but the sleeves on these are like actually decently long. Usually sleeves are like just to my wrist, like if I'm lucky. The wrist has a little scrunch detail, which I think makes it look a little more normal because it's not like super tight all the way up until your wrist. So because it has that scrunch, it makes it like look like the bagginess is like kind of meant to be there a little bit. The cropped length of this is not going to reach the top of my leggings personally. It might reach some people's, but there'd just be a little bit of skin. And the back of it is really cute. I do think it actually goes well with the sports bra cutout and everything. And I love like the kind of like wrapped detail of the back. I would definitely have wanted this top in the white color, so I could have like mixed and matched it with like some other sets of mine, but I think that this together is actually really cute, and the top feels really nice and it's really soft. So I'm a fan of the top. And I guess this is actually the last product I got. This is the Whitney Longline Tee. Also not surprised that these had quite a few left in stock because I don't really love the style of this one. It's a nice lightweight shirt. I don't think the fabric is like great. It's gonna be a little bit on the sheer side. It has It's a Beautiful Day to Be Alive up along the kind of neck of the shirt. And here is the base fabric. It's almost kind of mesh-like. It's super lightweight. And then you have like the bottom part, which is kind of like a sheer marl material. And I just don't really think that this goes with anything else in the collection. Like if she had other things that were kind of like two-tone, two-texture, I think it would make a little more sense. But this is the only piece that kind of has these two textures. Here is the Whitney tee. I do definitely like that she came out with some longer shirt styles. I think the tank top would have definitely been a lot more my style. I believe it was made out of the legging material, so it would have been a lot nicer. This material doesn't feel like super soft to me. It'll definitely be a lightweight, breathable shirt. I don't know, I just don't find it super flattering. It is kind of an open neck, which I'm not always a fan of open necks like this. It's kind of a relaxed fit. I wouldn't call this oversized, but it's definitely not like hugging or anything. I don't think I would spend $35 on it. I just don't think it's anything super special, and it's just not really my go-to style anyway. So I also think that this fabric is the kind of fabric that would show like pit stains very easily. So I would also, you know, be careful of that. And for me, it's almost on like the long side. I am very tall and I also have a very long torso, and this goes down to like my crotch. So it's definitely gonna be long, especially if you're short. This is gonna kind of overwhelm you. It'd be like kind of like a t-shirt dress. Let me know if any of you guys tried this shirt, what your thoughts were. Alright guys, so that is it for the video. Hope it was helpful, even though this stuff, I'm not really sure if it's ever gonna come back. I know Whitney said that she would have loved for the like high waist leggings and the sports bra to be like a permanent collection with Gymshark. I personally am in support of that. I think that it's a lot nicer than a lot of Gymshark stuff. Very different from Gymshark's usual style. They've been pumping out kind of a lot of like subpar seamless leggings. I feel like Whitney always gets a lot of hate after these launches because it sells out so fast. I can't possibly imagine that she wants her stuff to sell out. Like, I'm sure if every single girl who followed her could get a pair of Whitney leggings, that would make her happy. So it's just kind of a bummer that Gymshark continues to do this. It doesn't focus on big collections like this. Instead, they're always pumping out like these like small collections that you like don't even notice are happening or launching like every week. Anyway, definitely lots of hits and misses from this collection. I think there's still ways to go with quality control and just quality in general with these leggings. I don't really think they're like luxury leggings or anything. Probably a little bit overpriced for me, but they're still nice. All right, hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you made it this far and subscribe if you're not already. And I will see you next time. Bye!